So I gifted myself some Prismacolors. These are supposed to be the bomb diggity of pencils. As you can see, they're super sharp, which never stay that way, but I'm going to give them a try. I'm going to color this picture right here using my new colors within this brand new book that I got by Elise Burns on the Bright Side Coloring Book. And one of the reasons I picked this up is because it gives me a worksheet I can put down. Well, obviously that is colored by me, but coloring materials, and then I can swatch my pencils, and then it has a cute little question that they ask you. And so I thought maybe I will give this a try. So I hope that you'll join me today. I know that I've been doing a lot of coloring lately, but it's grabbed my attention, and hopefully I can talk good. Hopefully I can talk well, and you'll enjoy it along with me. So this is Crimson Lace. Wow, I already really like that. I can tell a difference in the coloring already. And combined with that, this one is Scarlet Red, which is a lot more orange than a red, I would say. Interesting. That'll be an interesting color choice. For the daffodil, I have here Canary Yellow. Very, very pretty. And then this is just orange. And then for the, I'm trying to decide which ones I want to use. I've got purple, I've got muted violet, and I got violet. You know what? We'll do the muted violet and the violet. Now I'm only using 2 colors because I don't know these well enough. I'm not experienced enough. See, oh, that'll make a really pretty light shade. What was I saying? I'm not experienced enough with colored pencils. Oh, that's a good mid-tone. I wonder if I do want the purple. Or if I want to leave it. Well, I'll put it down and then, oh wow, that is pretty. And that was what? Just purple. And then we've got our greens. Let's see. This is pale green. This one is grass green. Oof. It's already brighter than I think I like, but we'll see if I use that one. This one is just dark green. Okay. All right, let's give this a try. Then I will start out there. That is bugging me, so let's finish off that line right there. We'll just pretend like that's always been there. How's that? Okay, what to start with? Let's go with our purples first. Let's see. Not sure if I want to use actual purple, but oh, I'm so nervous. Why am I so nervous? Because I don't know that I'm really going for bright. I wish there was a darker purple. But that's okay. We are just going to make it work. And then we'll come from this section. Can you even see much of that? See, part of the thing about coloring is learning where your light source is coming from and where your shading needs to be. And sometimes the lines are really helpful in figuring that out. And sometimes, I don't know, it just feels like I'm just guessing, pretending. I feel like, they talk about imposter syndrome, especially amongst artists online, not online, on YouTube and Instagram. And I understand where they're coming from more and more. I feel like, why am I even doing this? Why am I on here when I have so much to learn? Let's see, where's my purple? I just want to see. I'm going to regret having done this, but I just want to try. Take into our muted violet. Not sure how I feel about that. But we'll keep going. Try to get it darker down here and then lighter as we go up. And I went too dark. Dang it. Oh well. Now, one thing I don't like is how some of these, like right here, how it doesn't connect. I feel like that affects the way the colors come together, and especially if you're looking to try to figure out where something is coming from underneath there. Although I guess I could use my pen and close it off. But I shouldn't have to do that, you know what I mean? Especially when my pen work is not that great. Okay, I need to stop being negative. Somebody else was saying that. Who was saying that? Somebody said, you got to stop being so hard on yourself. Just have a good time doing what you're doing. And I want so badly for it to be perfect, but it doesn't need to be perfect, does it? Because if you look at nature, nothing in nature is perfect. So why am I trying so hard to be? And I guess that's just, perfectionism is just something that I have dealt with my entire life. I have fought with trying to be perfect. Perfect this, perfect that, perfect person. And that's just not how life works, is it? Nobody is perfect. Not even me. Okay, well, I kind of like that. See, look, I said something positive. I don't necessarily want those white on top. I want them to have some color, because this is not a white flower on top. This is... What is that? Is that a carnation? Probably shouldn't be purple, but I'm going with purple. Because I think a purple flower, a red flower, and a yellow flower would look awfully nice. And I need flowers. Flowers, flowers, flowers. We don't have any in the yard yet. As a matter of fact, it was raining and snowing today. I'm filming this on Tuesday, April Fool's, April 1st. So it was like the weather was saying, ha 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 ha, you thought spring was coming, but we've got news for you. So rude. So, been struggling with depression lately. I think I talked about that in my last video, and I apologize for bringing it up again, but depression doesn't just go away just because we want it to. And it doesn't help that we just hit the 5-year anniversary of my father dying. He was only 70 years old when he passed away. He still had some years to go, in my opinion, but his body just couldn't do it anymore. And I would not, for the life of me, wish him back in this world in pain again. It wasn't cancer or anything like that. He had respiratory issues. His lungs were calcifying and sticking to his rib cage, which made it difficult for him to breathe. And that was definitely a difficult thing for him to endure, for us to watch him go through. We were recently rewatching The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogies. And one of my favorite characters, probably my favorite character in that entire thing, is Samwise Gamgee. And Sam does his best to help his friend Frodo go through this really, really hard task. He's there by his side the entire time, trying to protect him against the evil influences around him, including Gollum. And there's this one particular line that is probably my favorite. And I can't remember if it's in the books. It's probably not in the books. But Sam, they are so near. They're on Mount. So close to getting rid of this ring. And Frodo he's so weak. He just can't go on. And Sam says, I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you. And he takes Frodo up on his shoulders and carries him closer to the mouth of the cave where he can get the ring destroyed. And it's one of the most, it always makes me tear up. It always makes me want to cry because I think about that often. There are things that we are called to go through, or that others that we love are called to go through. And sometimes we can't be the ones to carry the load, but we can help carry the individual. We can do things to serve them. We can lighten their loads a little bit with just a conversation, with some laughter, with just showing them that we love them, that they are so loved. And I feel like that was what we tried to do for my dad. I had the opportunity to live with my parents for the last 2 weeks of his life. I moved in, and that was very, very special time for me. I got to know my dad better. He couldn't talk a whole lot, but he did share some things with me that I didn't know about his childhood. He kind of opened up a little bit as he knew time was drawing to a close for him. He was bedbound for probably about the last 15 months of his life. He was in a hospital bed and miserable, to put it mildly, because he felt useless. He felt like he couldn't do much of anything, and it frustrated him. And so one of the things that I was able to do to help him through that was to ask him questions about his life. And it helped him to open up about himself a little bit. And he knew that he was doing something for me as well, honestly, because I needed that. I needed to know these little things about him that he, for whatever reason, never thought to share. And I don't know if it's because he didn't think I would be interested, that his kids would be interested in it, or what. But it took quite a while before he finally opened up enough to really let us know a little bit about his childhood. He didn't remember a whole lot about his childhood. I mean, it was 70 years ago, so, I mean, I could barely remember things now, and I'm not quite 50. So, but it was neat. It was a neat experience for me, and I hope it was a neat experience for him, and I hope that he was able to appreciate what I was trying to do. For him during those last few moments of his life. So I've been watching this YouTuber, and of course now I can't remember the name of her channel because I'm not sitting right in front of my computer. But she has been on a coloring journey. She's been coloring now for about 18 months. And she just did a post where she showed where she started on her journey, which is kind of where I am now. It's like I'm very basic in my coloring. And she now uses like different mediums in her coloring. She'll combine things like markers and pencils and gel pens and all sorts of stuff. She combines a whole bunch of different stuff. And I just thought it was so brave of her to go back and take a look at where she started because she is so good where she is now. And she still sees room for improvement. There are areas where she would like to improve. She looks at a page now and says, well, I could have done better here, or I could do better here, which, is something that I think we all do when we look at our work. But what impressed me was the fact that she is still doing it. My goodness, 18 months later, and she's still coloring. She still finds joy in it. I have a hard time sticking to something long enough to get better at it, if that makes sense. That's why my channel's called Creative Chaos. Because I am so chaotic in what I am interested in, and I will flit here and flit there like a little butterfly or a dragonfly or a hummingbird or whatever I want to be compared to in the moment. Just not a bee. I just don't want to be a bee. And I don't stick with something long enough to get really, really good at it. I refer to myself as a jack of all trades and a master of none. The one thing that I do really well, and I won't even say really, really well, is crocheting. And I love to crochet. I love to crochet lots of different things, but there are different types of crocheting, and I am not good at all of them. Ooh, that looks pretty. I've been trying my hand at amigurumi. I think that's what it is, amigurumi. I've been trying my hand at that, and I'm kind of good at it. But there are people that can do I have so many friends who are also really good at crocheting, and they do amazing things. Like putting pictures inside of a blanket. It just boggles my mind how you can make a Mario blanket, or insert weird character blanket here. I have one friend who did a cat because she's got a niece-in-law who loves cats, and so she did a cat blanket, and I'm just like, how do you do that? Because I can crochet basics. I can do patterns in things like basic patterns, but the time and the patience that it would take and the concentration, I think, is just beyond me. And maybe that's part of the problem is I'm undiagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I have ADHD. I'm not hyperactive, but my brain is hyperactive, and I'm constantly flitting here and there. Like I said, with this channel, I'm just kind of here and there, and you never know what's going to catch my attention from week to week. And sometimes like last week, when I don't really have anything that I'm doing for the channel. I apologize for not posting last week, by the way. I just honestly didn't have anything set up to go, which is why I went to Michael's today to go on a little hunt. Okay, so I'm kind of liking how this is looking. I like adding that purple in there. That helps darken it where I want it darkened. And this is how you learn how to do something new. Good job, Laurie. So what else is going on, everybody? Tell me what's going on in your lives. I feel like you're forced to know everything that's going on in mine. I ended up coming home early from work today because I had a headache. I think it's just from the storm today. It just really did a number. Utah has weird weather. Utah will be, and we're not exclusive in this. I'm just, we're just one of the ones that you can go from 50 degrees Fahrenheit one day to 80 degrees next to 30 degrees next, and snowing and raining and then you can do it all in one day. We had that all in one day today, where we started out snowing with snow, and then it turned to rain, and then suddenly the sun is shining and it's warmed up into the 50s, and it's just kind of crazy. But I love it. I honestly love it. I just love Utah. Love living here. Do you love where you live? I hope so. It's good to live where you're happy, in a place that makes you happy. I'm not going to put the regular purple in these up here just because they don't go down quite low enough for that. Well, maybe a couple of them do, but I am liking the way this looks. And the real question is, can I do the same with the other two flowers? See, now I can feel myself getting impatient. I'm trying to hurry through this, and I need to not do that. Because that's where you get messy. Okay, now I'll put just a little bit of purple in, like right there. And where else is a long one? Right there. Okay. Well, I've talked your ear off long enough. I am going to move on to a different flower. I'm actually quite happy with that. I don't know how well you can see it. Oh, that's not good at all. Well, I mean, the flower I think looks pretty, but those lines across there. Oh, one day I'm going to be fancy and have fancy things. Like a fancy camera. Anyways, I am going to fast forward through these next two flowers, and then I'll meet you on the other end. Okay, I know I said I was going to not talk anymore, but as I am editing, I decided to just input that I wish I had grabbed reference photos. That's something that I always thought growing up was cheating when it came to art, was reference photos. But those that do art and color, they have reference photos. They have photos that they go to decide what colors to put where and how they want things to look. And so I do wish that I had grabbed a reference photo. I think that would have made things look more realistic. I could have. I mean, granted, I'm dealing with a very, very limited color palette. I didn't grab a whole lot of pencils. I only have a 22 pack, and maybe if I combine these with my other pencils, my Crayola and whatever brand the other ones are, I could have a bigger color selection, but I didn't, and that's okay. And so I did try with this one blending with my finger. You can see me kind of rubbing and scrubbing right there, and it just kind of helped bring out some of the orange and blend it in with the yellow a little bit better. And then I had to go back in with the yellow, but I am quite pleased with how that turned out. So anyways, I really will stop talking now. I lied again. I decided to start talking again. I just wanted to ask if any of you out there do recordings. What lights do you use? Because I really think that those lines going across my screen are actually caused by my lighting, which is like a little table side lamp and a fluorescent, not a fluorescent, an LED on the other side. And I think it's the LED light that's doing it. So if any of you have any good recommendations as far as lighting goes, I would love to get some recommendations. You can just type it down below. That would be a big, big help. There you go. Okay. Well, okay. I really, really, really am going to say that this is it, that no more talking. And I will even end it by saying, make it a great day, because that's how I end my videos. Okay, so make it a great day, and we'll see you next week.